watch me grow, see me standing toe to toe as I spread my loving arms across the land. But I'm still an embryo with a long, long way to go until I'll make my brother understand. Oh, yes, I am wise, but it's wisdom on a pain. Yes, I paid the price, but look how much I gained. If I have to, I can face anything. I am strong, I am invincible, I am woman.
Good afternoon, Wisconsin! Oh, yes, sorry. You all sound and look beautiful. My name is Tamika Middleton. Hey, y'all. I am the managing director of the Women's March. And I have the great pleasure of serving as your MC today. So I'm really excited and I feel really honored to be here with all of you. Thank y'all so much for showing up, for showing out with us and our partners here today. Partners, show up. Look at that. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Yes. You all show us every single year that nothing, not cold weather, not right-wing politicians, nothing will stand in the way of this fight for our freedoms. So today, the landmark decision Roe v. Wade turns 50. The other side thinks that we should be mourning today. They thought that we would slink away into our homes, lamenting. But they don't know us, y'all. They don't know who we are. And today we remind them. There will never be a day that we stop standing and fighting, because our fight was never just about Roe. Our fight is for full reproductive freedom, for access to the resources we need for ourselves and for our families and communities, and for true democracy. Our fight is bigger than Roe, y'all, and we won't stop till we get everything we came for. Now, we have an amazing slate of speakers for you today, and then we're going to roll into a speak out led by our partners at March. Give it up for March. But before we get started, I want y'all to look around the building for the lovely folks in these neon vests and clipboards. Can y'all raise your hands, our clipboard people, if you can see them somewhere in the building? They're around you. Keep an eye out. These are our amazing volunteers who are here to make space for you to sign up to take action when you leave here today, all right? So make sure that before you roll out and go back home, that you find them and sign up, all right? All right? All right. ready for our first speaker? Our first speaker. Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
Buenas tardes. El programa de hoy va a estar disponible con traducción simultánea para el español. Por favor, búsquenos aquí. Abajo está mi compañero con la camiseta roja. Si quieren escuchar el programa en español, por favor, pídanle un transmisor y habrá traducción simultánea en español para todo el programa de hoy.
nhớ rằng nếu nào bây giờ tôi đâu nói giờ tôi mua ship thả cho có cái chai để cho bọn nhé giờ là nếu nào bây cũng mua cho nếu tôi mua hai lượt xài lượt mong tôi nếu nào thế giờ là nếu nào bây giờ tôi nhớ đâu nói bên chọn tháo cho liên là giờ là một tờ xài lượt rồi nếu nào tôi chào.
All right, y'all. Our first speaker is a two-spirit from the Menominee tribe, for whom most of Wisconsin is their ancestral homeland. They're also a part of many organizations here in Madison and even have two of their own, Reaper Rights Wisconsin and Mobilize Wisconsin, that work to boost those organizations whose views align. Please welcome to the stage T. Clearwater. Oh, and their pronouns are they, them. Hosanna! Hello, my friends. I'm Mixed T. Clearwater, and I find it incredibly important to connect individuals and groups across Wisconsin. The organizations my partner in advocacy and I founded make sure. Wow. Oh. This good? Is this better? Okay. I find it incredibly important to connect individuals and groups across Wisconsin. The organizations my partner and I in advocacy have founded make sure that we can boost those who want to contribute to reproductive and social justice. Other organizations such as Socialist Alternative here in Madison, whom I've joined multiple times in County Hall, got Dane County to declare themselves as a safe haven for reproductive choice. In Green Bay, Wisconsin, the city where I was raised, we have Adriana Paleka, who formed women's rights there in Green Bay. I'm here to talk about some significant issues with everyone present today, namely Indigenous people and our struggles, our problems, our solutions, our pride, and our unity. Starting with the huge Supreme Court case, Brackeen versus Holland. The pro bono lawyer that is representing Brackeen is Matthew McGill of Gibson Dunn, which is Big Oil's primary defense agency. This case is to claim once again that ICWA, Indian Child Welfare Act, is unconstitutional. The Brackeen family claims it is reverse racism that tribes have sovereign rights over our own children. Tribes, unfortunately, only those that are federally recognized are allowed to step in before children are placed into foster care or be adopted by non-Indigenous people. It is claimed racist that we say you cannot take our children. We will not allow that to happen again. Yet it does, over and over and over again, despite ICWA, which is considered the golden standard. On November 9th, 2022, I listened in horror as hundreds, it's hard to actually read with the camera a little. On November 9, 2022, I listened in horror with hundreds of others as Indigenous children were again and again called a commodity. This is a blatant attempt to destroy our cultures and to rob families in our communities of their children.
forcing them into non-Indigenous homes for assimilation and alienation, aids in the genocide of Indigenous peoples. It takes away our future generations and attacks our sovereignty. This attack dismisses our treaties, which includes land rights. Big oil wants to assimilate our children, to kill the Indian and steal the land. ICWA was created because of mass child theft by the states for foster care under claims that Indigenous households were not fit to raise their own children. Over and over again, no matter what the condition, I've had too many non-Indigenous peoples, even completely white people, tell me their horrors of dealing with CPS in the foster care system. I've also had a beloved past partner of mine tell me the horrors of going through the foster care system. And I've listened to my own mother tell me about the abuse she suffered in the system for my entire life. A system that immediately replaced residential schools when sweeping changes in government started shutting them down across the US, some of which still exist today. Reproductive choice isn't only about not having kids, but also having them. Being able to love, keep them, raise them. This is something Indigenous communities are continually denied. And when we are not denied the children we have birthed, we are denied the choice to have them. Forced sterilization has been a rampant issue in Indigenous communities, as well as the Black communities and all brown communities. This is another issue that rips apart our communities. It affects our physical, spiritual, mental, and emotional health. Many who do not find out about sterilization is because they try to have kids, but they are told the dark truth, often many years later, and this creates gaps in statistics. However, our horrors do not start and stop with ICWA and forced sterilization. We face a huge crisis that our people, we want to talk about, but no one's really listening, so we're no longer staying silent. An issue that the wonderful Dene are vocal about down south, and that my Anishinaabe relatives in Canada have created mass changes with. Missing, murdered Indigenous women, girls, and Two-Spirits, but also our men and our boys. Every single Indigenous person is at risk. In 2022, here in just the US, 506 reported cases of missing and murdered women, girls, and Two-Spirits. 128 cases of missing, 280 cases of murdered, 98 undefined. And the median age affected was 29 years old. Our communities know that that number is much higher, much, much higher. However, missing and murdered Indigenous citizens don't often get filed by police or state troopers. This is an ongoing crisis that we have been battling. 4 out of 5 Indigenous women, girls, and Two-Spirits experience some form of violence in their lifetime, and have the murder rate of 10 times higher than the national average, despite only being 2.6% of the US population. In Canada, there is now Red Dress Day on May 5th. And here in the US, we have the international symbol of the red handprint across our faces. About 2 weeks ago, California signed into law the Feather Alert. All for our missing and murdered Indigenous women, girls, and Two-Spirits. Join me in Wisconsin and many across Turtle Island in our resistance. Remember that today, the land you stand on, Dejote, is the ancestral homeland that was stolen from the Ho-Chunk, who are only federally recognized, who are the only federally recognized tribe in Wisconsin that don't have their own reservation. The Ho-Chunk land today are all lands that the tribe have bought back. While reservations are a disgusting form of segregation, they are our home. They are where our people are. That is why we have always fought back, and that is why the Ho-Chunk have always fought back, and we all courageously keep fighting back. In 1832, the Ho-Chunk were forcibly removed, were forced into a land treaty to cede their rights to their lands. Decades of ethnic cleansing and many occasions of state federal agents coming in army vans and wagons to attempt to forcibly remove the Ho-Chunk followed that. The state and federal governments were never truly successful at the removal of the Ho-Chunk. They are here today. They will continue to remain on their lands. Much like all other federally recognized tribes that originate in Wisconsin, much like my people, the Menominee. Menaha, Pematsion, Yape, Pasa. Live well today. Goodbye.
Call for T. Clearwater. Next up, can y'all hear me? Can y'all hear me? Okay. Next up is someone I am always pleased to introduce, Women's March's fearless leader, Rachel O'Leary Carmona. Rachel is from the north side of Milwaukee, is a proud Badger, and the executive director of Women's March, leading the vision and strategy of this organization. Please, y'all, welcome Rachel to the stage.
It's a good day to be from Wisconsin! It may be that it's kind of noisy in here, but I don't know if I heard all of y'all. It's a good day to be from Wisconsin! We are here today to make sure that we are facing and moving in the right direction. We want to be headed forward towards a feminist future, forward to taking our rights back, and forward to taking back Wisconsin. Forward! 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 50 years ago today, the Supreme Court decided in Roe v. Wade that we have the right to access abortion care. And while Roe no longer stands, January 22nd is now an anniversary of a different kind, a more somber kind. It is the first day that many of us in this country, including this state, do not have bodily autonomy. Our reproductive freedom has been stripped away by a compromised Supreme Court, 3 of whom were nominated by presidents who lost the general election, and this is not the will of the people. But let me keep it a buck. The fight today is bigger than Roe, and I'm going to break it down. We need to protect our freedoms. We need government regulations to stay off of our bodies and out of our lives. We need local and state legislators to help us, not try to control us. We need to support working families. Wealthy corporations need to pay us what they owe us. What do they need to do? Pay me what you owe me. Bitch better have my money. They need to pay their taxes. Our communities have gone through enough. They need to stop price gouging and stop pandemic profiteering. $10 for eggs is ridiculous. We need to side with the future. We all want the same thing, to be able to support ourselves and our families, to live healthy lives and safe communities. Politicians need to cut the shit. Stop spreading lies, hate, fear, division, and get to work. And I'm going to tell you like this, our opposition doesn't learn very quickly. because they should have learned what happened when you're out of step with your constituents and when you co-sponsor more tweets than legislation. The red wave that was supposed to happen in November ended up being a little bitty itty-bitty trickle, all right, a trickle. And right-wing extremists paid the price in 2022, and we here today and in marches all across the country, movements all across the country, will make sure that they pay the price again in 2024. Period. The fight to protect our rights, support our families, and build our future doesn't happen every 4 years. It doesn't happen every 2 years. It happens every single day with everyday folks like you and me to make sure that our chosen leaders share our values and our vision for the future. It happens on February 21st. When? February 21st. When? February 21st. When we choose who goes through the primary for Wisconsin spring election, and again on April 4th. When? When we cast our votes and decide who will sit on the Supreme Court of Wisconsin, and nothing less than our whole democracy is on the line. And I don't know about y'all, but I'm looking down on the floor, I'm looking at this floor, I'm looking up there, and all I see is people who are ready to fight, and I believe that we will win. I believe that we will win. I believe. And we already have. We delivered political and electoral consequences to candidates who are not on the side of women, allies, and democracy. Women across the country ran for office in record numbers in 2018, and record numbers voted for those people. In 2020, we kicked Trump out. In 2022, we blocked the red wave. And in 2024, we're coming for the rest of our rights, and we won't stop until we have them all. Now, while we were marching from Library Mall to the Capitol today, there are marches and mobilizations happening all across the country. And at one in Tallahassee, Florida, Vice President Harris announced and President Biden announced that they will issue a presidential memorandum ensuring safe access to medication abortion. And we want to say thank you to President Biden and his administration for listening to us and taking action. And the lesson here is simple, is that when we fight, we win. And if we can move the White House, we can move Wisconsin, and we will. Women's March builds the political power of everyday women every day. We're marching today, tomorrow. We are back to work building the most effective organizing vehicle for women and allies in this country. We're defiant, never defeated, and our movement is big enough and strong enough to win on all of our issues for all of us. We can all win together, and it is a fight worth fighting for. So today we mobilize. Tomorrow we organize. Today we march. Tomorrow we meet. We text. We call. And we care. We keep doing the difficult and sometimes unsung work of building the largest, most durable feminist movement in this country. And to continue, if you don't know where to get in, where you fit in, go to biggerthanroad.com or text WI to 44310. Get in there, get plugged in, and if it's not with us, with Working Families Power, with SEIU, wherever it is, get in where you fit in. Find a political home, make a difference, and we'll see you in the streets.
Yes. Next up, y'all, Amadi Ozier is an assistant professor at UW-Madison and a scholar specializing in African American and African diasporic literature, with a particular interest in humor, race, and psychoanalysis, performance studies, blackface minstrelsy, racial performance in theater culture, capitalism, trauma and recovery, and cultural history. If y'all at UW, y'all gotta sign up for these classes, okay? Amadi is also a representative of the Madison Abortion and Reproductive Rights Coalition for Healthcare.
Yeah.
Show love. As a community organizer with the Crown Heights Tenant Union and the Crown Heights Care Collective in Brooklyn, New York, their work in housing advocacy and peer education has been funded by the NYC Narrative Power Network for Health Equity and Racial Justice Project Grant from the New York City Department of Health and Mental Hygiene. Y'all, welcome Amadi to the stage.
Hey everybody, can you hear me? There's so many people in here. Look at how many people there are in here. What's up? What's up? Free abortion on demand. Can we do it? Free abortion on demand. Can we do it? That's right. We can and we will. Okay, what's up? As Tamika said, thank you very much for that introduction. As Tamika said, I'm with MARCH. That stands for Madison Abortion and Reproductive Rights Coalition for Healthcare, right here in Madison. This event was only possible by working together, by staying together, and by getting organized. So thanks for coming, everybody. So Madison Abortion and Reproductive Rights Coalition for Healthcare, that's my organization, is a grassroots organization that formed immediately after the overturning of Roe v. Wade. Boo! Shame! All right, so we and all of our coalition partners are calling for our representatives to restore abortion rights in Wisconsin. That means overturning the 1849 ban, removing all medically unnecessary restrictions on abortion. Yeah? And until that change is made, until they've banned the abortion ban, we're going to direct a portion of the state's budget surplus to aid people seeking abortions out of state. We have $6.8 billion in surplus in Wisconsin. Our Wisconsin state government has the money, okay? They have the money. The average abortion access across state lines costs about $4,000. $4,000. Boo! Raise your hand if you have $4,000. I don't have $4,000. That $4,000 includes lodging. That $4,000 includes childcare. That $4,000 includes mental health services. That $4,000 includes having to call out of work in order to get a procedure done. Should we have to pay that? No, absolutely not, especially when Wisconsin State has the money, okay? All right, so this is what's at stake, all right? Maternal death rates in 2020, so that was before these abortion bans, were already 62% higher in states that had an abortion ban or abortion restrictions. Boo! 62% higher. You're more likely to die while you're pregnant in a state with abortion bans. Shame! And guess what? American black women are 5 times more likely to have had an abortion than white women. Which means black women are also far more likely to be in danger while pregnant than white women. So the battleground for reproductive rights is black people. Yeah, black people. Trans people. Poor people, workers, incarcerated people, people without health insurance, people with mental health issues, mothers, people who have already had children. That is the battleground for reproductive rights in Wisconsin, okay?
give up the fight? No, not on your life. Okay, so one of the reasons we march, along with the Women's March and all of our coalition partners, have worked to hold this national mobilization event here in Madison is to draw attention to the upcoming spring election in Wisconsin. So it's super important. Yes, woo, elections. Yeah. All right, so there's 2 dates for us to remember. The first is February 21st. That's the primary. The second is April 4th. That's the general election for the Supreme Court. These are the people that get to decide whether or not the 1849 abortion ban stands. Does the abortion ban stand? No. Hell no! Hell no! Absolutely not. All right, so the candidate who's elected in April must reflect the wants and the needs of the people of Wisconsin. Over 70% of the people of Wisconsin support abortion. So one person on this Supreme Court, one person has the chance to determine the balance of power in the Wisconsin Supreme Court. Is that fair? No. Is that fair? The people decide. The people are going to decide. Why would one person get to decide the fate of so many people? All right? So there are 2 conservative extremist candidates on the ballot. Get ready to boo. Get ready to boo. Jennifer Darrow. Yep. And Dan Kelly, who've spoken about leaving the 1849 abortion ban alone. Shame! Shame! When asked what is the worst SCOTUS decision ever made, Waukesha County candidate Jennifer Darrow said striking down the Texas anti-sodomy law, which was a ruling that made same-sex sexual activity legal in every state. These are the kind of laws that Darrow is against. Same-sex equality. Shame. Dan Kelly lost the election last time he ran for Supreme Court. And both times he's been endorsed by radical anti-abortion political action committee, who only endorses candidates that agree with them on all issues. All right, boo! So who are you not voting for? Jennifer Darrow? Boo! And Dan Kelly? Boo! Right. They call themselves 100% pro-life because abortion is never medically necessary. Is that true? Absolutely not. Abortion is health care. Health care is a right. Abortion is health care. Health care is a right. Abortion is health care. Health care is a right. Yeah. Okay, so March, which is my organization, along with unions and communities in Wisconsin and the Midwest, marched here today in our capital to speak out in defiance of the 1849 ban. We join our voices with the Women's March to say that our movement is bigger than Roe. We are louder together. Let me hear you. Yeah. So, lastly, we will be putting politicians on notice. You come for our abortion rights, you come for our reproductive rights, and we will vote you out. Yeah, our bodies, our lives, our right to decide. Our bodies, our lives, our right to decide. Our bodies, our lives, our right to decide.
Shut up for Marty! Next up, we have Hanan Jabril. Hanan is a local organizer and healthcare worker. How many healthcare workers we got in here? Yes. As well as a non-traditional pre-med student at UW-Madison. Come on, UW. UW in the building. All right. They have been a sexual and reproductive health and rights advocate and educator for 9 years. And in 2017, they were one of the founders of Women's March Wisconsin. Hanan plans to pursue a career as an OBGYN and abortion provider, but in the meantime, They continue to provide free education and workshops on self-managed abortion within the community. Y'all show love for Hanan.
Hi, everybody. My name is Hanan Jabril, and I am a member of March. I am also a doula, a self-managed abortion facilitator, and postpartum nurse technician. Because of my work, I know how beautiful and transformative pregnancy and birth can be. Unfortunately, I get to see just how difficult, debilitating, and sometimes devastating it can be as well. That's why abortion access is about so much more than a uterus or an embryo. It's about us. It's about our health care, our futures, and our lives. I am so thankful to be here today, and I want to start by celebrating us. The fight for reproductive rights is not a new one. We are simply continuing the work of that our ancestors started. But we choose to continue the work for ourselves and future generations everywhere from Madison, Wisconsin to Tehran, Iran. As a birth and public health professional, I work with abortion and birthing patients frequently. I see firsthand the complexities of pregnancy, none of which are accounted for in the Wisconsin abortion ban. When it was written in 1849, surgeons literally didn't wash their hands, okay? We didn't know that germs caused disease. Today, the World Health Organization lists abortion as an essential health service. Just like mammograms and antibiotics, it is an incredibly common and safe procedure, and the people who have abortions are not a monolith. Every one of us loves someone who has had an abortion, whether we know it or not. The ban that conservatives support only allows for abortion if 3 physicians agrees it's needed to save the life of the pregnant person. But anyone who actually works in healthcare will tell you it's not that cut and dry. So much of medicine is nuanced judgment calls between the provider and the patient and the care team. That's literally why we train doctors and nursing staff. And that's why there is no safe way to restrict abortion access. As a result of the ban, our patients are forced to travel out of state to seek treatment, which isn't always possible and puts them at greater risk. All because a group of old white men with no medical training think they know what a patient needs better than their own provider. I'll give you a pro tip. In healthcare, we call that practicing without a license. And it's illegal. As a Muslim, abortion is also a religious issue to me. I know that abortion is my divine right, and in many situations, it's a mercy. I have had patients that have longed and tried for a baby and are blessed with a pregnancy only to find out 20 weeks later that their baby is in pain and won't be able to survive outside the womb.
Should that person be forced to remain pregnant for months you're right, to endure the never-ending barrage of people asking when they're due, if it's a boy or a girl, just to give birth to a child whose birth certificate and death certificate will be issued on the same day? Abortion after 12 weeks is rare, but it happens because of complex and heartbreaking medical issues. Medical induction abortion enables these patients to end their pregnancy by inducing labor early, just not in Wisconsin. Abortion is also a mercy for survivors like me. When I was assaulted at 15, I didn't become pregnant as a result. So all I'll say is this: when you are assaulted, your right to choose what happens to your body is taken away from you. Afterwards, your right to choose is taken away from you again and again because trauma and PTSD force you to relive that moment over and over. And finally, when Republican abortion bans supported by Dan Kelly and Jennifer Darrow force pregnancy and birth on a survivor, your right to choose what happens to your body is violated for a third time. And conservatives tout being pro-life when it comes to abortion bans, but won't support paid parental leave or Medicaid. It used to be extreme for someone to support abortion bans with no exceptions for rape. And it used to be unheard of to support the prosecution of abortion patients, but today that's just the reality. It's unthinkable for a politician to support contraceptive and abortion bans with no exceptions at all. But that is what Dan Kelly believes in. Conservatives like him and Jennifer Darrow have made it very clear what lives they value. So this spring, we need to be equally clear. Wisconsin moves forward. Thank you so much. If anyone is interested in information about self-managed abortion, I'll be hanging out all afternoon. Please make sure that we're masking to the best of our abilities and using the trash bins to help keep our city and earth clean. Thanks.
Show love for Hanan! Show love for Hanan! We're going to keep the healthcare provider energy going. I hope y'all are showing love. And next up, we have Eliza Bennett, who is a practicing OBGYN in Madison, Wisconsin. She has been an abortion provider for her entire career. Show love for our providers. She is an educator that has trained OBGYN residents, students, and nurses in abortion care. Show love and welcome Eliza.
Thank you, Wisconsin. So, I moved to Wisconsin in 2006 from Kansas to become an OBGYN. I chose Wisconsin because I knew that I would get a training in abortion care if I completed my residency here. That was not true if I had stayed in my home state of Kansas. Now, however, the tides have turned. Never in my wildest imaginings would I have believed that abortion would be banned in Wisconsin and enshrined in the Constitution of Kansas. Right. I got great training here, and I loved all parts of being an OBGYN, especially providing abortion care, because providing abortion care allows me to help my patients exercise their own agency. As a resident, I was not sure what my practice would evolve into, but I remember the day that I decided that it would definitely include abortion care. It was a Sunday in May. I know it was a Sunday because it was a day that an amazing warrior for abortion access was killed. Dr. George Tiller was gunned down in his church on a Sunday morning in Wichita, Kansas, because of his fight for abortion rights and access. I made a decision that day that anti-abortion terrorists would not win, and we would have at least one more abortion provider. I mistakenly thought that the biggest risk I would face would be a threat to my life. I fulfilled the goal of becoming an abortion provider, finding a job where I could provide abortion care, which is not easy in today's corporate healthcare world. And for over a decade, I have provided abortion care right here in Madison, Wisconsin. I have taken care of patients having abortions for every reason that can be imagined and many that you cannot imagine. I have taken care of patients that have flown halfway around the globe. I have taken care of patients on the brink of death, patients needing to get out of the grips of bad, abusive relationships, patients that wanted to have a baby, but just not right now. And finally, patients for whom pregnancy and childbirth are something that they want no part of. I have listened to all sorts of stories about how people came to the decision to end pregnancy. All of them valid. Throughout my career, the patient's stories, reasons, explanations brought to mind Dr. Tiller's motto, trust women. Trust women to choose their own paths, chart their own care, chart their own course in life. Women and all pregnant people know what is best for themselves. They know what they can handle, and they know what they can't. They are the experts in their own lives, and they should be the ones making the choices for their own bodies, not state legislatures. On June 24th, all these interactions with these amazing patients to making the best choices for themselves came to a screeching halt with the Dobbs decision. In Wisconsin, my rights to provide my patients with abortion was rendered a felony. If I continued to provide abortion care, I would face hefty fines, jail, and the loss of my livelihood. It has been devastating. My colleagues and I now scramble to refer patients out of state for all abortion care. Don't believe the exceptions. OBGYN residents are no longer getting the abortion training that brought me here to Wisconsin. This has the potential to erode not only abortion care now, but in the future. Generations of physicians are not learning the care they need to take care of all pregnant patients in Wisconsin. Our patients that we saw weekly at the abortion clinic are largely absent. We hope they are finding their way to Illinois or Minnesota or whatever other state they can find care in. We are working hard with organizations like Rockford Family Planning to start access clinics at the border. But this is not how it should be. Wisconsin patients should not be leaving the state to access life-saving health care, care that is a basic human right. and the upcoming Wisconsin Supreme Court election, there's a chance that we could go back to the future, get out of 1849, and return to the state of trap laws and abortion restrictions, but we want more. I want us to continue our efforts to reflect states around us like Illinois and Minnesota. I want our patients to have full enshrined rights to abortion. We need to pass the laws to protect bodily autonomy, the freedom to decide what happens to one's own body. Thank you.
For Eliza and all of the providers, all of the healthcare practitioners that make sure folks can access abortion. When abortion rights are under attack, what do we do? When abortion rights are under attack, what do we do? What do we do? What do we do? Our bodies, our bodies, our bodies, our bodies. All right, I'm gonna keep us moving to our last couple speakers. How many of y'all are in a union here? I live in Georgia, but I heard tell that Wisconsin is a union state. Our next speaker is the president of SEIU Healthcare Wisconsin and an RN at a local Madison hospital. She has been a nurse at the bedside for over 33 years and a firm believer in women's rights her whole life. She's been shaped by 4 sisters and 1 brother and a powerful mother and father who raised them to believe that we are all equal and all people and can do anything we reach for. Everyone welcome Pat Race to the stage.
Ain't no power like the power of the people, and the power of the people won't stop. What? Ain't no people like the power of the people, and the power of the people don't stop. Ain't no people like the power of the people, and the power of the people don't stop. Thank you, everybody, for being here today. As a nurse of a local hospital, I encountered one of the worst fears that I'd realized. The extremist anti-woman majority of the Supreme Court has always intended to take away a woman's fundamental right to an abortion. And in Wisconsin, our laws have taken us back to 1849, when medical treatment and the knowledge known at the time were hazardous to the people that were being treated, where women had no right to vote and no right to have input in the law, where women were meant to be seen but not heard. What? And our family and friends, who are the predecessors of the current LGBTQ plus community, had to hide in fear for their lives. A lot of advances have been made in the last 174 years. Preterm babies born at 28 weeks from conception can live a happy and prosperous life. Kidney disease and diabetes are no longer a death sentence. In fact, the average life expectancy has gone up from 39 years in 1849 to 79 years in 2023. Why would we follow a law that's 174 years behind the times? Today, on the 50th anniversary of Roe v. Wade decision that gave women the right to make decisions about their bodies, and where healthcare looks so different than in 1849, we find ourselves fighting again for those same rights. The working people of Wisconsin stand with our partners across the reproductive justice movement, denouncing the same shameful attempt to undo 50 years of precedent and reaffirm the women's fundamental rights to control their reproductive destiny. How do we make those changes? The Wisconsin Assembly and Senate have their jobs, but we can fight the laws of 1849 by taking it to the Wisconsin Supreme Court, and we can win if we vote right, the right person into the Wisconsin Supreme Court. On February 21st, when? The spring primary, we need to vote for a strong judge who believes that women have the right to make decisions for themselves. And then again on April 4th, when? And I lost my place. At the spring general election, we need to vote them into the Supreme Court. How can we make this happen? That's right, but not just you. We need to get our friends, families, and neighbors out there voting. Because one vote counts. One vote can make a difference, and your vote can make a change in this state. Your vote can make our children have the right to make the best decisions for themselves. We, the people, have the right to make the best decisions for ourselves. Government should not be making personal decisions for the people of Wisconsin, and we need to make that change this year. As the largest healthcare union in America, SEIU refuses to go backwards and will do everything in our power to get rid of the 1849 abortion laws in Wisconsin. Republican legislators in Wisconsin did not wait to send us back to 1849 and criminalize abortion again. That's right, when Roe v. Wade was overturned, Wisconsin automatically and instantly returned to a law passed 174 years ago that makes abortion a felony in every case except when the mother's life is in danger. This law endangers women's and girls' lives and sends us back to the days of back alley, self-induced abortions. And make no mistake, the law did not stop abortions. It stopped safe abortions. I have seen people close to death due to back alley abortions. I have seen people lose the ability to have children in the future because of illegal abortions. It is not our legislators being impacted by this. It is our economic welfare, and we have to have safe places for people to get abortions so that our friends and neighbors are not dying. This is a health care need, and it's a health care process that's being denied to the great people of Wisconsin. Unfortunately, it's primarily the people of color and other marginalized people who already face huge, unjust challenges assessing health care who are being denied this right. Ultimately, fighting the 1849 abortion law is about protecting women's fundamental right to control our bodies and our destinies and receive basic health care. Working people across our union, janitors, security workers, office workers, warehouse workers, food service workers, airport workers, public health workers, and healthcare workers know that the rights of women, immigrants, people of color, the poor, and the LGBTQ plus people are all connected. And we all need to get out and we need to vote. So let's go show the world that the people of Wisconsin fight for our rights. And let's go out and vote February 21st and April 4th.
Hey, how y'all doing? How y'all feeling? Are y'all riled up? Are y'all ready to fight? So we got our next speaker, and then I'm gonna tell y'all we got a treat for y'all after this next speaker. I mean, our next speaker is a treat, of course, but we have a treat for y'all in the Raging Granny. So I hope folks stick around for that amazing performance. But next up we have Jennifer J. Knox, the National Organizing Director for Working Families Power and Working Families Party. Born and raised on the south side of Madison, Jennifer has been organizing professionally for 20 years with experience at the local, state, and national level. J. Knox led Working Family Party's 2022 PAC for Mandela Barnes for U.S. Senate, one of the largest programs in the state. Working Families Power is building power for the multiracial working class, winning campaigns across the country that raise wages, pass paid family leaves, beat back abortion bans, strengthen democracy, and secure good green jobs. Y'all welcome J. Knox to the stage.
Hey y'all, so I hear that soon we in the state of Wisconsin are going to be live on MSNBC, okay? Hey. So when the world's eyes look at you, I want y'all to act a fool up in here, okay with me? All right. I'm going to warm us up. Let me see how many of you know this one. Other than this state right here, where it is most true that in 2023, our abortion rights will be on the ballot. And starting this year, we have momentum, you all. I don't know if y'all heard, but in Kansas, they knocked down an abortion ban. Michigan, they what? Knocked down an abortion ban. All right? And in South Carolina, what did they do? They knocked down an abortion ban. All right, and in Wisconsin, in 30 and 72 days, what are we going to do? Absolutely. I like the way y'all sound. Y'all, we're fired up, and that's what we're going to need. But let me sober you for a moment, because 30 days is not that much time, and our opponents are fierce. There was a poll that came out this week that said that conservative, anti-abortion candidates in this state had more name recognition and more favorability than the pro-reproductive rights candidates, y'all. Okay, so they're not playing. Ooh. And I don't know if y'all been watching, but the right is marshaling millions and millions of dollars to flood this state with ads and lies like they did in 2022. All right, so our opponents got money, and the kind that sometimes wins elections, but you want me to tell you what we got? We got the kind of people power that wins elections. All right? All right? Don't we? Because there ain't no power like the power of the people. Because the power of the people what? Thank you. All right, yeah, so I'm going to tell you what we're going to do to win, all right? In 30 days, let me hear you. And in 72 days. All right, this is simple, y'all. The first thing we're going to do, number one, we're going to vote. Educate yourselves, absolutely. Get yourselves to these polls. There are 4 candidates for state Supreme Court race, but there are also mayors on the ballot, y'all. City council members on the ballot. School boards on the ballot. Democracy on the ballot. All right? Abortion rights on the ballot. All right? So this number one, what are you going to do? Vote. Okay? But that is not enough. It is not enough in this state, because too often, if we lose an election, it's not because of us who braved this winter cold, right, to be up in this Capitol. It is because our friends and families forget. So the second thing I need you to do, in the next 2.5 months, I need every single person in here to fill at least 3 shifts, to volunteer and contact your friends and families and leave no stone unturned and bring them to the polls. Yep. And y'all, I got a dream today. I believe in y'all. Y'all gonna help me fulfill it. I got a dream. I need every single person to take out their cell phone right now. Take it out. Go and dig in there, find it. Take your time. Don't drop it. Bring out your cell phones. Turn to your neighbor and say, "Where's your cell phone? Where's your cell phone?" Hold them up, everybody. Seriously, I want to see it. Everybody up in here. Okay. I'm seeing. I'm seeing. So my dream, y'all, is that on this day, we're going to fill over 1,000 shifts to reach out to our family and friends in Wisconsin. And if you don't know nobody in Wisconsin, if you're watching nationally, that's okay. The best, single most important thing you can do in the next 2.5 months is help turn out the vote and help educate people in Wisconsin. And I'm going to tell you how. Do y'all have your cell phones? I can't hear you. That don't sound like you got your cell phones. Do you have your cell phone? Okay, you got them. I want you to open up your text messages and text WI to 44310. Text WI to 44310. Take your time. Open up those text messages. If you don't know how to find that, ask your neighbor, okay? Because we got how many shifts to fill, y'all? 1,000 right now. So I'm going to need everybody in here to do this. Everyone. Text with WI, the initials for Wisconsin, to 44310. Every Wisconsinite, I need to do this. If you ain't from Wisconsin, that's all right. If you're an ally of reproductive rights, this is what we need you to do. Text WI to 44310. You will receive a message back, and I need you to hit that link and right now sign up for 3 shifts for electoral action. There's one opportunity to do friend-to-friend outreach. If you know at least 10 people in Wisconsin, we want you to do this. We're going to help you put your face on a postcard and send a mailing to your friends letting them know what is at stake and that you stand for reproductive rights in Wisconsin and that you want them to help you knock down an abortion ban in this state. Y'all know how y'all do, right? We need you to talk to everyone. We can get you a packet of materials, all right? So friend-to-friend outreach is the single most important thing you can do. It is the single most persuasive act you can take to move somebody from the couch to the polling booth, okay? All right. And the second opportunity there is we're going to be sending messages to the entire voter file. There are so many people who don't know where to go, don't remember the dates. This is an off-year election, all right? And we have to ensure that we turn out like it's an on-year election, because this is an on-year for us, all right? Okay? So let me hear you. We're going to get to those 1,000 shifts. How many people? Let me hear you say, hey, if you already signed up. I'm gonna check these shifts, y'all. And as we close out, I'm gonna remind you that the most important thing that we have on our side right now is the power of the people. So let me hear you. Yep. Let's chant it. Ain't no power like the power of the people, because the power of the people. Ain't no power like the power of the people, because the power of the people. Don't stop. Say what? I can't hear you. Say what? Say what? Not well. Power of the people, because the power of the people can't stop. Say what? Power like the power of the people, because the power of the people can't stop. Say what? Power like the power of the people, because the power of the people don't stop. Say what? Thank y'all, thank y'all, thank y'all. So, one last round of applause for the speakers today, y'all. Give it up.
So one note I want to make, the Raging Grannies are about to come up here and blow your minds. I know y'all are excited. Before they do that, I just want to say really quickly a few things. Now we all know what we're up to, right? We know we're about to do when we leave here, right? Is that right? Together we're going to beat back this band, right? Now I come out of the Southern Black radical tradition, and my elders and my ancestors in that tradition talk about being on assignment. So all of you that turn out to march and rally, you are stepping into your assignment. But you have to stay on assignment after the marches and the rallies and the protests. We have to be on assignment every single day. So here's how we're asking you to be on that assignment in the coming months. First, once again, there are volunteers floating throughout the building that have on these neon vests, and they have clipboards. Before you leave, find one of those volunteers, sign up to take action in the upcoming election. If for some reason you cannot find one of those volunteers, J. Knox just told you, you can text WI to what? Okay, 44310. That could have used a little more coordination, but we got it. If you did both of those things, thank you very much. Thank you so much for being exuberant about your assignment. In the coming weeks, talk to your friends, your family, your neighbors, your co-workers about the primary. That's on what date, y'all?
February 21st.
What's the date?
February 21st.
And then make sure that they know what's at stake. Help them make a plan to vote, and go ahead and do that again for the election in April. And finally, make sure that you turn out and vote, that you get involved, that you remember to be on your assignment. That's right. All right, so give yourselves a hand real quick. Let me give yourselves a hand, everybody. Let me hear y'all give it up for yourselves. And now, give it up for the Raging Grannies.
Hey, people, this is not our first rodeo. We were fighting for this 50 and 60 years ago, and we never thought that it would be taken away
for our children and grandchildren. All of us were not able to march with you today. Some of us really are grannies. All of us are. But I want to tell you, some did march, and we know the power of song in protest. And we are here to sing just 3 songs, so we're not going to keep you all that much longer. But these are 3 songs which are powerful in their message, and we will continue to fight for health care for everyone. And abortion is health care.
Is that going to be on? Okay. Ready? Yep. And it's 1, 2, 3. What are we fighting for? I tell you my body's my own. I demand you leave it alone.
Have you heard the news of late? How Republicans in state after state are launching big legislative fights against women's reproductive rights?